When I
Okay.
started at the end, I felt like I was in a good place. I definitely think going through the course, though, helped me improve on things for sure, because I learned even more about the ins and outs of every aspect of my body, how it's all connected, and everything is going to make a difference in how I perform and my longevity, how mobile I am, the quality of my life, all the things. So I was feeling great, but I definitely think I still learned a great deal that I'm still working on today.
Cool. So that was going to be my next question then. Even with you feeling good, we're very thankful for
Mhm.
that. It's cool about the FDN labs. I just mentioned this in our previous podcast is they're so unique because you can take someone that is ridiculously sick, like I was when I went through it, and you find tons of stuff for them to do on the labs. You can find someone that claims to feel good, or maybe they even literally do feel good, but you could still find some warning signs on the labs. So by the time you got through FDN, we include the labs in the cost of tuition for those that don't know. That's why I'm asking this. Can we I know you mentioned some in the beginning too, but just to reiterate, what were some of the maybe more interesting findings to you? Was there anything major still to work on or just something you wouldn't have expected?
Actually, one of the things that was interesting to me and has really helped me is I didn't know this, but I had a histamine intolerance. And I had never really thought twice about it, but I noticed I did have a lot of like itchy skin at certain times and things like that. But I don't know, just never really thought twice about it. And then with the wellness panel, realized how high the histamines were, and working on that with supplementation was super helpful for me. I swear by that now. That was really helpful. I think my cortisol was way better than it was when I had first checked it. And I could feel that obviously. I felt better and I could see it in the data points, which was great. I would say my gut function could use some work. Just, I definitely, it was interesting to see some of the maybe immune function in the gut, leaky gut. Some of that was there, of course. Protein breakdown, which is important for me because I do really work on getting a good amount of protein every day. But it was interesting to see that I wasn't really breaking protein down very well. Working with digestive enzymes was really helpful for me too.
Awesome. Okay. One of the things that you learned in FDN is about HPA axis dysfunction. And this
Mhm.
is what I really wanted this to be the meat and potatoes of today's episode.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. For those that don't know, we always have a note sheet that our guests fill out. And then I try to figure out what they want to talk about and relate it to that in some way. So one of the things that you are particularly interested in is working with your clients to figure out which phase of HPA axis dysfunction that they're in. And I think this is one of the most useful indicators in showing someone what they're capable of currently from a fitness perspective. So, again, that's why I asked earlier what are some warning signs that someone may be off. But if we can test, it becomes pretty clear pretty fast how much exercise and physical stress you can handle at any given time. So, I'm not expecting us to give a full explanation right here of HPA axis dysfunction. But if we could, can we just talk about that? What is it overall? And then how do you use this with your clients to figure out how this might affect their ability to exercise? Because I do not think even 1% of trainers, if you count all of them that are out there, even know what this is, let alone use this in guidance for their fitness programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, ideally, you want to wake up with your cortisol rising to start up top here, and then you're going to ideally have this gradual decline in that cortisol. A lot of people end up with trouble sleeping. That's really a big one that I see a lot, and it's because that cortisol is up in the evening when it should be down here. Also, when you're exercising, some of these people are trying to work out fasted, which is this is something I see a lot. And fasting, don't get me wrong, works really well for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. And it's a stress. And again, now you're putting that stress with exercise as a stress. And then maybe you're putting caffeine as another stress. And maybe you've got a gut infection and that's another stress. And when you add these all up, you're really compounding the issue for somebody. And so I really like to look at the cortisol rhythm, see what's going on in their day, and think about how can we reduce those stressors the best. And it might be just taking one or two things out, or maybe exercising a different part of the day. For me, I used to always work out in the morning. I've discovered that actually half of the week I work out in the afternoon. It's really helpful for me because I sometimes just need that recovery in the morning. And so I work out in the afternoon. When I was in my 20s, it was great. No problem. I felt great. And I could work out with nothing in my stomach, no problem. Now it's not the same. I need to have some fuel. So there's no one size fits all. And so I always try to take in each individual case and really try to find out where somebody's at. And I think looking at the labs is a really good indicator of how much stress is going, what's going on with this person, and really chipping away at as many stressors as you can.
I'll never forget when I first went through, I shouldn't say first went through the FTN program, but when I went through the FTN program, my mentor was Brandon Mole, who he does basically just clinical advising at this point at FTN. And he showed me my HPA axis chart, and then he showed me my test results. And I was in the exhaustive phase. I was in the early stages of the exhaustive phase as a 21-year-old guy. And it made sense considering, unfortunately, at that time, years of drug abuse, panic attacks that happened for years, because of course that's a very stressful experience. And I remember him telling me at the time, hey, like you should probably, for at least just this moment, maybe stick to like longer extended walks, and that's going to be the physical activity. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Because I'm playing basketball 6 hours a week at that time. I always loved this is not even close to what they actually do, to be clear, but it was on bodybuilding.com at the time. It was like a Navy SEAL buds training thing. So I'm doing the bleacher runs, I'm running miles, I'm doing the calisthenics, all these things. Like I got a high off of that and I loved it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what is this guy talking about? I'm only going to walk. And I remember I did that for about 7 days. And on that seventh day, I didn't even realize what I was missing until it came back. To your point about not feeling rested when you wake up, I didn't know I was experiencing that because I think I forgot what it felt like to feel good. And I just woke up with mental clarity, energy, motivation to get out of bed and go do stuff. Normally it was like forcing myself to do it, but now I just wanted to do it because that's how a healthy human being feels. And I couldn't believe it. But the only thing that I could attribute it to was not doing that extra physical activity throughout the week. And guys, this is not a permanent thing. It's especially not a permanent thing if you're on that younger side. Again, I'm able to do a lot of these things now. Maybe I need to back off a little bit. But the fact that I can even push it to a point where I need to consider backing off just shows the progress that was there. So this is not a death sentence. It's not forever, but it's one of the easiest stressors to tone down right now. And that's what's going to allow your body to heal, because people forget this. The body's always healing. That's how a paper cut works. You don't have to give it any magic spell or ointments or commands. You don't have to go to the hospital. You just wake up one day, and for whatever reason, our body is designed in this insane way where it knows something's wrong and can heal it. That's also happening in all the other areas of the body. But if we're picking the scab every day, metaphorically speaking, then we're going to be screwed and we're not going to actually fully recover in the way that we need to. That's great. I want to ask too, have you had any, I'm sure you have had any clients yet where they are the ones exercising 6, 7 days a week, but they come back with the exhaustive phase of HPA axis dysfunction? How the heck do you navigate those conversations, assuming that they have happened? Because imagine you face some resistance sometimes.